In a small town where everyone knew everyone, there was a funeral home run by a man named William. He was an experienced worker who knew how to deal with grieving families. However, William had a dark side. He could not resist the temptation to steal jewelry from the dead. Every time he prepared a body for burial, his eyes sparkled with greed. He cleverly hid the jewelry in the pockets of his work coat, convincing himself that these were just small gifts from those who no longer needed them. One day, the funeral home received a request for the funeral of a local old lady, famous for her magnificent jewelry. William was looking forward to the moment when he could access her treasures. When the time came to prepare, he opened the coffin and saw a sparkling necklace that was on the neck of the deceased. His heart beat faster with excitement. Without waiting for the end of the preparations, he quickly took off the necklace and hid it in his pocket. But at that moment he felt a cold wind, although the windows were closed. William did not pay attention to it and continued his work. The next day, when he came to work, he was overcome by a strange feeling of anxiety. Every night he had nightmares. An old woman with an angry look stood by his bed and whispered, "Give me back what was mine." William woke up in a sweat, but each time he again filled his pockets with jewelry. A week after the old woman's funeral, William noticed that strange things began to happen in the bureau. The equipment broke down for no apparent reason, and the dead body sometimes seemed more alive than usual. His colleagues began to notice changes in his behavior. He became irritable and nervous. At that moment, he saw the ghost of an old woman in front of him, surrounded by a dim light. She extended her hand to him and said, "You disturbed the peace of the dead. Now you will pay for it." William tried to resist, but a cold fear seized his body. He fell to his knees and screamed, "Forgive me. I will return everything." But it was too late. The ghost of the old woman disappeared, and William was left alone in the darkness of the basement, surrounded by the shadow of his sins. The next day, his colleagues found him unconscious among the clusters of stolen jewelry. Doctors could not explain what had happened to him. They said that he simply went crazy with guilt. Since then, rumors have been circulating in the city about the curse of the funeral home. They say that the spirit of the old woman continues to wander through it in search of justice, and anyone who dares to disturb the peace of the deceased or touch their treasures risks facing her wrath.